From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and we were talking about Willie Wilson's great gas giveaway, $200,000 worth of free gas at a handful of stations around the metropolitan area. Not only is he paying for the gas,
he's pumping it, man.
He's out there pumping it. He joins us now. Willie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up?
Good. How y'all doing?
Good. So, Willie, what gave you the idea to give away gas?
Well, the basic bottom line was that people was asking me to help them get to work and things of that nature. And then I pulled in the service station. It was higher than me. And so people just need it. People couldn't get to work because of their disposable income. And it was a need to help. I gave it to $200,000. And to see all these people out here now today around these 10 service stations, I should have gave more, you know?
Well, why didn't you just give everybody a Chevy Volt?
Well, I maybe I should have.
Yeah, there you go. And the charging station. Throw in the charging station, too. You're going to need that.
Yeah. Well, I think that what happened is that it's such a need into the community. Well, we didn't just do it in one area. We put 10 stations so we could probably cover all of Chicago as much as we could. And so it just the only thing I kind of like now look at is that we probably should have did more, gave a little bit more money than what we gave, you know, to help more people out.
Well, you can always do more. So what are people saying who are coming up and seeing you pump and pay for their gas?
Well, they just say, thank you, and taking some pictures and things. But there's a need, and it's sad to see the need into the community that people can't get to work hard because they ain't got gas, the money to pay for it.
It's heartbreaking. These lines are miles long. I mean, at the 95th Street station, police are saying it's 7 miles long, people waiting to get free gas.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I should have gave more money.
Yeah. Are you
almost tapped out?
Are you telling them to vote Republican if they don't like these gas prices?
Well, listen, I don't like the gas prices, you know? I think that by doing this, I think that a lot of people have a lot more resources than I have. I think we all should get together and try to pitch in together and try to help the citizens of Chicago here to make a living in terms of gas and buy food for their family and things of that nature. I just think that I think it's sad. United States and people don't have the income. I think we all should do more and do better. A lot of people got a lot more money than I got, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. And so is this part of like a run-up to another mayoral run by any chance?
Well, if you look at my record, I've been doing this here for 15, 30, 20 years. I've never stopped giving. We pay taxes and we feed the hungry, people up the street. We do all of that. No, I don't play with people's livelihood like this. I would never do that. Last year, we gave away $4 million out here to people that didn't have food or had to pay taxes, non-violent, out of jail and all this kind of stuff. Having senior citizens that live out $3 a week for food. I just thought about this last week when people kept telling me that they didn't have money to get to work. Mm-hmm. And then I look up at this sign and I just decided to do it. There's no motivation behind this no more than to help some people, you know.
And how do you think Lori Lightfoot is doing in terms of serving the interests of the people who are struggling to put gas in their tank to get to work?
Well, I mean, look, her record speaks for itself. And like everybody know this city is not a lot more. I think he should be doing in the state too. But I I don't know. I think well, people got to judge her for themselves. My job is to try to help people to get food on their table and help make their life better for them. And I don't think focus on that because,
All right.
to keep talking about things and we got to do something. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know, but everybody knows the mayor, what record that she has and what she's doing. I'll let everybody else judge her, not me.
All right. Well, I think people are judging you positively for this $200,000 gas giveaway that you're doing. It's a very nice thing. So good for you, Willie, and thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, I want you and Amy to come out and help me next time I do this because we're going to have to do this again, all right?
Will I get a free fill-up if I come out?
Yeah, you get more than a free fill-up. You get the motorcycle, too,
All right, very good.
I'll wash people's windshields. Yes.
All right, thanks, Willie.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, and now let's switch gears and introduce our next guest. But sort of
someone who might be running for mayor.
Same topic areas, really. We'll also include police in our conversation with Alderman Ray Lopez, who's the alderman for the 15th Ward in the city. Alderman Lopez, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, good morning.
Are you?
God bless Dr. Wilson.
Yeah, are you waiting in line to get fill up, or where are you?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay. All right.
I'm finishing feeding my dogs this morning. Well, giving me that look that they love to give me.
Oh,
so
yes.
Maybe that'll be the next thing Willie does. Free dog food. He'll come over and feed your dog and fill up your tank at some point. We'll see. So let's start with the Chicago Police. And
yesterday.
And tell us what you think about the Lightfoot slow roll on this vax mandate issue.
Well, I'm very disappointed in our mayor and, quite frankly, in a majority of my colleagues for failing to come to work yesterday to answer and resolve some of the issues that a number of our city employees, including our police officers, have with regards to the mandate. We've seen as the city, as the county, as the state, and as the country inches back towards normalcy, Lightfoot is, white-knuckling her control on the city, refusing to budge, refusing to evolve her policies to reflect the ever-evolving science surrounding COVID, to be more accommodating and understanding to the world as we know it. And I believe that she's intentionally and arbitrarily drawing this line in the sand to try to feel as though she's still in control of things, even though we've seen in other instances, such as at CPS and with CTU, she clearly was not.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that this harms is our citizens, because we are already razor thin on losing our ability to keep people safe, as we talk about routinely. And if she thinks that this won't impact our ability to keep Chicagoans safe, she's clearly delusional.
Yeah, I mean, this is about control and power, not health and safety, because the positivity rate, it's already fallen again to 0.6%. But so she didn't attend your special city council meeting, but neither did others. Only 17 aldermen showed up, and you needed 26 in order to hold a meeting about natural immunity. So what's your next step?
Thankfully, the resolution that we were assembling yesterday to speak about was already submitted. I'm hopeful, and we will continue to reach out to Alderman Roderick Sawyer, chairman of the Health Committee, to see if he will put it on the docket so that it can be discussed before next week's regular city council meeting. But let's be honest. This mayor clearly picks and chooses which part of the scientific data she wants to use in order to weaponize it against her employees and her foes, particularly the Chicago Police Department. She's not interested in hearing any opinion other than her own, and we have to continue to stand up and push back. I am thankful that 2 years ago, it was just 2 or 3 of us pushing back, and now we're almost at 20 people pushing back routinely. So I think that we will continue to fight, but we cannot give an inch to this mayor who is just hell-bent on doing her own thing, consequences be damned.
I thought this was interesting. I saw a post from the Chicago Police Department now waiving the 60 college credit hour requirement for candidates with experience in various areas, social services, healthcare, education, the trades. But waiving the 60-hour college credit requirement all of a sudden, why would that be?
The reason is very simple. We can't get anyone interested who's qualified to want to be a police officer at this point. And they're going to continue to lower their standards just to try and make their quotas into the academy, and that's going to have a very negative impact on our police department and on the quality of officers that we're trying to create in the city of Chicago. What we are facing is hundreds of officers leaving the police department year over year. My understanding is that we have already lost half, 50% of the officers that we lost all of 2022 or 2021 have already left in terms of numbers in 2022. Over 400 officers have resigned this year alone already or left the department. We simply cannot keep up with these numbers of attrition at the rate that we're going with the standards that we have. Next thing I'm assuming that they're going to waive is probably residency, just to recruit anybody to come into the city and be a police officer.
Well, other, suburban police departments like Elk Grove here, they're giving signing bonuses of $10,000. So they need some police officers who are like, hey, Chicago, we don't have any vaccine mandates. We'll take you. Have you ever thought maybe it's going to come to that where we have to give signing bonuses? And do you think that they'll do that?
I think you could waive every requirement. You could waive every residency rule. You can waive signing bonuses in front of people. Nobody wants to work for the city of Chicago's police department in an environment where they are constantly viewed as the enemy, where they are treated as less than everyone else simply for doing the job that we have trained and asked them to do. It is more an issue of how they are treated than of what we're offering. And I don't think until that changes, we'll be able to stem the tide when it comes to recruitment and retention within our department.
John Catanzaro was on our program the other day, and he suggested that he expects this year to be even bloodier than last year, which was even bloodier than 2020, and all of those years were very bloody. What are the residents in the neighborhoods you represent saying about the violence? I mean, we've already had more than 100 murders and more than 500 people shot here in mid-March. What are you anticipating for the summer, and what are your residents saying to you about their safety?
Sadly, I don't have to wait for the summer, Dan, to see how bad it's going to be. Just yesterday, we had 10 rounds fired off less than 20 feet from one of my schools in West Englewood, 10 minutes before parents were coming for a social event with their children in the building. That's March 16th. Mm-hmm. We are already seeing the violence escalate weeks on end in many neighborhoods, and the police department and our local police districts, though they try their best, are unable to get a hold of things because of the poor staffing policies and other things coming out of headquarters from people who have never served on the street and think that this is all some great academic exercise in police and urban policing. Their policies are failing. And I do think that we're going to continue to see an escalation in the amount of bloodshed on our streets this year, probably worse than any year before, as we see the combination of poor leadership, inability to execute and maintain law and order, and of course, the double whammy coming out of the state's attorney's office, where you will have mutual combatants and unintended targets being given a free pass for the crime and mayhem that's going on in our streets.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing it all week in conjunction with CWB Chicago, their electronic monitoring appreciation week, sarcastically, of course, and 70 people now last year that killed or attempted to kill somebody while they were awaiting trial on felony charges, often Class X, violent felonies. And the program continues unencumbered. It's unimpeded. There's no recognition that something has to change with turning habitual violent criminals back out in the streets, even for a short time before they're tried.
And look, even Chief Judge Timothy Evans said that what you just said doesn't happen. He said there's no evidence that people on electronic monitoring do anything bad.
Right.
I mean, he needs to go. I mean, the 16-year-old kid that shot the 8-year-old girl who was, on a sunny Saturday afternoon walking down the street. He didn't even want that 16-year-old. Yeah, he didn't even want that 16-year-old to go to jail. He thought therapy would be better. And he said that publicly.
Well, right. You don't have the mens rea to commit a crime until you're 25, we understand from Chief Judge Evans.
And, there are plenty of things that are in a lot of these reform bills and all these other measures that are being put in place. We've got Kim Foxx with her mutual combatants. We've got this new rule that says if you shoot someone and they're the unintended target and you kill them, you won't be charged with murder now because that's not who you were aiming for. There's all kinds of madness going on in Illinois when it comes to criminal justice. But the one thing that's missing is where's the compassion for the victims and for those innocent people in the communities who are just trying to pursue the American dream and can't because they're being terrorized repeatedly and oftentimes by the same people. We can have compassion and we can make things easier for people who commit, a once-in-a-lifetime event, who maybe just make a bad choice once in their life, but we know that they'll never do it again. But we cannot give compassion to those people who have rap sheets 5 pages long, who are dedicated to violence, who are dedicated to gang life, who are dedicated to criminality. We have to drop the hammer on these people because there's no program, there's no compassion, there's no restorative justice that's ever going to change their minds to be anything less than what they are, which are terrorists in our neighborhoods.
And put the same question to you we put to Willie. We're a year from a mayoral election, so it sneaks up on you pretty quickly. Your name has been bandied about as a possible candidate. What are you thinking?
I think, I don't think there's an alderman out there that's never thought about being mayor. Kind of like cardinals in the church. Everyone knows you could become mayor. Or
Pope in that case. Pope. Yeah, right.
I'm looking at it. My dream job was always to be an alderman and to serve my residents. But clearly, we are seeing how a bad mayor can make that an impossibility. So we'll continue to explore all options, but I think that right now my focus has to be on protecting our workers so that they can protect our neighborhoods.
All right. He is Ray Lopez. He's the alderman for the 15th Ward. Alderman Lopez, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
The exciting new Ford commercial